What's up, guys? What's going on? About to get this session started. All right, G, I'm gonna bring you in. Hey, Kenta. Yeah.
What's up, man?
So what's going on, man? What's going on?
I'm good, man. How you?
Man, I'm maintaining, man. Maintaining, doing well, man. How about yourself?
I'm out here, bro. I was actually hoping I just ordered some clippers from eBay,
Mm,
and I was
okay.
hoping they would come in so I could get a little work in before we get on there. But that didn't work out so well. I'm like
Oh
literally on my
man.
phone, like, come on, eBay, let's get send it. But so that's why I got
All right.
the hat here right now.
Listen, man,
Um,
we're matching, man. We're matching. You know what I
sheesh,
mean?
I can't do it, man. I
I mean,
can't
my
do it.
beard is a little bit more fuller than yours, but
Listen,
we got the
mine is
glasses.
not.
It's just like,
Yeah, no, we look like twins. We look like twins.
right, exactly, right. But bro, thank you so much for joining with me this evening, man. And folks, welcome to this IG live session with Curtis Careers. I'm the founder of Curtis Careers, and I developed this web series called See Through the Day, and which is an opportunity for matching brothers, exactly.
That's
Which
funny.
is which is See Through the Day is a platform that I created, a web series to have discussions and share insights on our faith, our career, our personal growth, our business growth. So I want to thank everyone that's on this chat this evening. I appreciate you guys. And wanted to introduce my bro who I've known for quite a while, a few years,
Yeah,
man, right?
yeah.
Right? Yeah. So
We've been through a couple of dress sizes. Like I've been a lot of different sizes since I've known.
right, you look a little bit more shaped than me, to be honest.
Listen,
But
man.
I'm saying, man. But yeah, man. Geo Derice, good brother of mine. Great man of God, great man of faith. Motivational speaker, author, businessman. You name it. This guy does it, man. And wanted to give this time to Geo to, really, actually, this is a conversation, right, about path to publishing, right?
Yeah,
So a lot of us are, you know, looking to be an aspiring author. We're looking to, like generate that idea in a book, in an ebook, maybe even an online course, different things like that. So this session is really going to talk about those tools and really the strategies that folks can really use to make that transition into being a great author like yourself, Gio. And wanted to give you this time now to introduce yourself, your business, and just a brief background of yourself.
yeah. So I'm the CEO and founder of 2020 Living Inc. Started that I think 3, 4 years ago.
Mm.
I don't know. Like I said, I got pregnancy brain or something. I don't know what it is. But listen, man. So started that company. As you mentioned, I'm a motivational speaker. I've written the book The Thirst Is Real. I wrote that back in 2014, and
Hmm.
then transitioned to actually helping authors write books. And this was something that my
Hmm.
mentor put on my heart to do, on my
Right.
mind to do, and I never thought I would do it. I'm like, I wrote my book. Why would I help somebody else? Like I know how daunting of a task it actually is. So now to help somebody else. So I went ahead, I did it for a couple of people, and then 45 books later, we're 45 books later, years two, and I've been doing it for about 2.5 years. I've been
Mm.
able to see what it takes to write a book, the frustrations that come along with writing one. What's a good
Hmm.
idea? What's a bad idea? How can I do it quickly? How can I take my time? How do I make sure there's so many questions and layers to it,
Hmm.
Curtis. But again, I'm just excited to be on here because we get a chance to talk and literally dive into what does that process actually look like? How do I
Right.
know that my book, which is one of the biggest fears, is
Hmm.
actually going to sell? Like I don't no one wants to write a let me just say this. Imagine when you were in college and they asked you to write a term paper.
Oh
That
yeah.
term paper was probably 15 to 20 pages for a grade.
Right.
Now imagine
Right.
you're writing a book, which is 5 to 6 term papers, and not getting that one person to buy it.
Right.
Could you imagine? Like I wrote 6 term papers, and my book collecting dust in an Amazon warehouse somewhere.
Right. Exactly.
So I
That's
want to
frustrating.
help
That's
people.
frustrating.
It's super
Mhm.
frustrating. So I want to just today we'll dive into that. And I see a couple of people who's joining on here, man. I'm glad to see Stephanie on here.
Yeah.
My boy Benji. I see Miss Empress 86, Patty. So just want to say hello to everybody. But we're just gonna go
Yeah.
deep,
Definitely.
man, and just really just share everything. I'm not holding anything back. And
Exactly.
um,
Yeah.
at
And
the end,
folks,
I got something
actually,
for people
yeah.
too.
Oh, nice. And folks,
Yeah,
ask your questions during the session, but I guess let's dive into it really quickly.
let's do
So
it.
my first question is, what led you to this path? Like, what led you to be like, you know what, I want to be this business owner, and then ultimately I want to like go into this pathway of being an author. Like, what was that journey like?
Can I let me tell you the truth, right? I'd love to tell you like that story. It was like, oh, it looks so beautiful, and it was like, Curtis, when I was 6 years old, I just had a dream that I would be an author one day. That is not my story, right? Like, that is not my story. I never wanted to be an author. Like I'm the guy literally who in third grade had a hard time just speaking publicly because I had a Haitian accent. So
Mm,
I was made fun of for speaking English in class. And so
mm,
the last thing I would ever want to do is write a book or do anything related to books. As a matter of fact, this is a fun fact. I did not actually read a book from cover to cover until after I graduated college.
wow.
After. Don't ask me how
Wow.
I did it because we got a couple of college people on here. Read your books. Read your books.
Yes,
But
yes,
I did do
read.
that. And so to tell you like how did I get to become an author, I stumbled upon motivational speaking because of Les Brown. I heard him speak
Mm,
and I was
he's
just so
great. He's
inspired.
great.
And I'm like, man, this guy got me believing that I could walk on the moon right now. Like he just had me
Right.
in the clouds and just dreaming and being full of hope. And
Mm,
I was like, man, I love that. Like, and so I started to study him. And then that got me into the motivational speaking realm. Then, as I
mm,
got into the motivational speaking realm, I was like, yo, man, everybody seems to be a motivational speaker nowadays. Like, it's like everyone's
mm,
posting quotes. How do I separate myself from
right.
everyone else? And so
Mm,
I started studying all the top motivational speakers. And as I studied all the top motivational speakers, there was one common thing besides speaking that they all had, and it was the title author next to their name.
mm,
Every
right.
single one. I'm looking at Eric Thomas, Les Brown, Ziglar,
Hmm.
Jim Rohn, and it was
Yeah,
books. It was author, 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 author. And so I was
right.
like, yo, you know what? Man, I should write a book. Like that, at least that will get me to be in that same echelon as these greats. And so that
Right.
took me on a course to figure out how do I go and write a book. So I did what everybody does. You call your best friend Google, and you call
Ah,
Google and you say, "Yo, Google, how?" And everybody's done this. Y'all all are guilty of this. As a matter of fact, I just finished
right.
cooking a steak. I literally went on Google how to make sirloin steak. Got a YouTube
Mm,
video and immediately cooked it. Did a good job,
that's
right?
awesome. That's
But it's
awesome.
so I did it. I went online. I typed in how to write a book, and you see
Hmm.
so much information. There's so many ways. It's just like there's 10 ways to skin a cat or whatever the case may be. Like there's so many different pieces of information, and then I saw this one guy by the name of Tony Gaskins, and he
Hmm.
had this course on how to go and write and publish your own book. And I'm like, oh my gosh! Like, let me get this. I
Mm,
listened to the course for 2 hours
wow.
and got all the information that I needed, the basics. And
Mm,
then I went ahead on the journey of writing my book. I went ahead,
that's
wrote my
awesome.
book, and I'll be honest, like from the idea to the part where it actually got published took some
Mm,
time.
mm,
Most of us go from idea, then we get so much energy, right? Like you're like, oh
right.
my
Right.
gosh. It's the same thing, like as I look at birthing a book as like birthing a baby.
Mm,
Birthing a book is like birthing a baby. So
Yeah, speak more on
you
that.
go
Yeah.
ahead and you say, "Oh my gosh, the test says that we're pregnant," right? And so
Hmm.
you get excited. And then
Hmm.
there's some pains along the way, right? You get the morning
Right.
sick, you get the sickness, and you get the all the other stuff that adjusts. Then you start making room for it, and you start having baby showers, which get you a little bit excited. And my version of a baby shower for books is you get your book cover created. Once you see
Hmm.
that book cover created, you're like, oh my gosh, like
Right.
this actually starts to feel real. So you do all of those things, and I hear your wonderful son crying in the
Yeah,
background, right? So,
yeah.
so,
He's
so,
hungry.
so you go ahead and you talk about like, how do I give this thing? How do I give birth to it? And one of the things that happened to me, Curtis, was like when I started writing my book, I hit that wall.
Hmm.
Everyone who writes will eventually hit a wall where all the the thrills of what an author would be like, you speaking on stages, you autographing your book, you take your book out and you
Mm.
like, oh, I'm gonna autograph it, I'm taking pictures of you, like you're doing
Mm.
all this stuff. All of those things is
Right, right,
legit,
right.
but the thing is, in the middle, this is the part where it's always the hardest. The start and the end, you're like, at the finish line, I'm gonna get my medal. At the
Right.
start, you got all the enthusiasm and excitement because you ain't get rejected, you ain't stopped yet. You just got that sugar rush, in a sense.
Mm.
In the
Right.
middle, though, is the parts where you have to figure out what do I do to break out of this plateau, this wall that I've ran into. And so, what happened to me was around like month 5 or so, I hit that wall, and I needed to
Mm.
break it. And so what I ended up
Okay.
doing was I started to realize I how do I break this inertia, like this stuff that I'm struggling with. And so I
Mm.
actually booked a hotel. And what I did
Mm.
was I booked it, but I never said when I was checking out. And
Ooh.
so and I ain't had that much money. So let's just put that out there
Right.
too. So
Okay.
I went, I said, you know what? I'm on chapter 4. I need to finish this book. I'm booking a hotel. So I go ahead,
Mm.
I book the hotel. I literally set up the environment. I think it's so important to set yourself up for success. And so
Yeah.
I literally went ahead. I bought me, I love me some Chick-fil-A. So I bought me Chick-fil-A for lunch and dinner so I don't have to go
Oh,
outside
wow.
again. So I had like about 4 chicken sandwiches, 3 fries, and 2 diet lemonades. Like I literally
Oh
stacked
my
them up,
God.
bro. And so
You really like.
I was stacking up the guys. If you are listening to this right now, it is super important that you stack the odds in your favor. You have to protect yourself, create a bubble so that you can
Mm.
actually give birth to this child. You think about a baby. We don't let things come near the baby. Curtis, let
Mhm.
me when your baby was born. Let me tell
Right.
you. I was talking to you on the phone. Yo, Kurt, I'm gonna come see your son. What happens when I go and say, "Yo, Kurt, I'm coming right now to see your son"?
No way. It's not.
Exactly,
It's not happening.
exactly. You're like, nah, son, like
Nah, man.
quarantine yourself. You ain't coming over
Right.
here, bro.
Right.
So
Exactly.
it's super important to protect it. So I did that by buying all those stuff, right? So I could make
Hmm.
sure I don't go outside. Then I went ahead and I started writing, but I also knew I had to finish writing because I didn't want to have to keep paying for the hotel.
Mm.
So I went ahead and bro, literally, and I checked out of that hotel 36 hours later and had written the last 7 or 8 chapters of my book and it was done.
Oh my gosh.
It was done.
Crazy.
In 36 hours, I wrote 8 chapters. It took me 4 to 5 months to write the first 4.
Wow.
So to say like for many of us, we have to create the environment. What's the situation that makes you have to do it versus it would be nice if I wrote a book. If it would be nice, it's
That's
not
not
gonna cut
enough.
it. It's not
It's not
enough.
enough.
It's not
It's not
enough.
enough.
You've got to create the environment. You look at athletes. Why does a professional team go to a hotel? These people live in mansions. But the night
Hmm.
before the game, they go to a hotel to take themselves out of that environment so that they can become super focused.
Right.
So it's the
That's
same
true.
thing with us. Like the book, Curtis, like you know that there's 8 streams of revenue that you can create, 8 streams of income that can come out of writing a book. Your book could
It's
become a
crazy.
course. You could
Hmm.
speak. You could do a
Which I'm
coaching
working
program.
on. Which I'm working on.
Bro,
Yeah.
listen, man, you gotta do it. like
Yeah.
speaking, courses, coaching programs, online master classes, interactive workbooks, curriculums. All these things come out of that one thing. So I'm here to tell you, you owe it to yourself to create the situation or environment that not puts you in the best position, but ensures that you actually write that book.
That's awesome. So pretty much is like putting yourself in that space where you have minimal distractions, right? You have like little to no distractions at all, where you could, it's just you, the pen, the paper, or you and your laptop, and you're just typing away. You're just going in, right? But
Going
I
in.
wanted, you're just going in. So, but I wanted to ask, like, for folks that are on here, like, if they have this idea to write a book, but they're not sure how to like put that idea together into one kind of big like topic or title, like what is your advice on that?
Got it. So there's three questions actually. This is and I'm so glad you asked that question because there's three questions that I firmly believe that you must address before you even get, before as you get to that part that you're talking about.
Right.
And if you don't answer these three questions, I'm not I am promising you that there is a very good likelihood that you're not going to succeed with your book.
Okay.
Number one, what are you writing? What's the topic?
Hmm.
Right? Like what is the subject matter that we're talking about? No, that's you have to know what that is, right? Then you have to know who am I writing to?
Mm.
Who? Right? Like because you could go and say, yeah, I'm gonna make a burger, but who but do you know like do people are you selling this to people who like beef or are you talking to a vegan? You gotta know who you talking to. Because the
That's good.
best beef burger in the world doesn't matter to a vegetarian.
That's good.
So you want
That's
to know
good.
who am I talking to? Now, here's the thing I will tell people. As you hear the who, if you tell me the answer to your book, like when I ask you who's your book for, you say everybody, it's
Mm.
the wrong answer. It's the wrong
It's the
answer.
wrong answer. Wow.
Saying it's everyone is here's what happens. When I say I'm writing a book for everyone, what I'm really saying is I haven't done enough homework to laser focus myself into who it is. Who it is. Now, most of us think, oh, well, I just put myself in a box if I just talk to a specific audience. Tyler
Mm.
Perry has been talking to a specific audience for a long time. He ain't
Right.
struggling.
No, he's not.
Tyler Perry not struggling. If he
Nope.
tried to write shows for every single person, he would not have Wakanda being filmed at his studio.
Mm.
Black Panther was filmed
Right.
the majority of it at his studios. I'm here
Right.
to tell you, if you guys are thinking, man, I want to inspire every single person, guys, here's the crazy thing. Another one, Curtis. How come Kobe Bryant did a speech to the Alabama football team, but he ain't never played no football?
Mm.
Because he focused himself so much so in basketball, became great at that one thing, and because he became great and because he was laser focused, his greatness now warrants the attention of even people outside the box.
Wow. Wow.
So
That's good.
for those who are listening to this, don't worry about, oh, well, I'm only writing this for black moms. That's fine. You don't think that a white mom don't want to know what a black mom does if she killing the game?
There
If
you
she
go.
killing the
Good
game, the
point.
white mom gonna be like, "Yo, dang man, let me sneak." She might not publicly read it, but she gonna
Right,
sneak
right,
it
right,
in and be like, "Yo, let
right,
me find out what's going on." So
right.
you want to know
Wait,
who? Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, sorry, real quickly. So, folks, definitely type in your questions, your thoughts through this session. We definitely want you to be with us in this discussion. Saw a question and I want us to not forget it. So,
Yeah,
We Network Services, who is run by a good friend of mine, Molly Crease, she says, you have good content for your book, but sometimes you question yourself if it's really valuable. How do you become sure of your content? So,
I love
definitely,
that. I love that question. Let me jump
yeah,
in. Let me
yeah,
jump into that right now. I
right.
could go. So here's the thing I tell people all the time: you always want to test your material in advance. The problem
Mm,
with a lot of people is they wait for the feedback at the end of the race.
hmm.
You got to get the feedback from up front. So one of the ways you do that is in your conversations. It's through your social media posts. It's through going
Right.
live right here like we're doing right now. It's
Yeah.
emailing your friends. These stories that I'm telling you right now, where people are like, man, that's good. I see people saying excellent suggestions. These are all stuff that I have already said to people. This is not the first time I'm saying it. So for those
Mm.
who have good content, the first question is it good? And the only way for you to know it, and it's not shade, but it's like you
Right,
got to go find out. Don't go and write
right,
12 chapters, then find out it was bad. You should have
right.
been, that should have been a social media post somewhere, and you're like, and then look at your statistics on social media and be like, wow, that one got 13 shares. Oh wow,
Mm.
that one got 6 saves. Somebody saved this post to go look at it again. This must mean that it's valuable to them. So because of that, I'm gonna go ahead and now turn a social media post into possibly a chapter in my book.
Mm.
Right? I'm testing those stuff out. I'm telling stories around the topic. So then that way I'm like, oh, these are the stories I'll use in my book. So when you talk about content, you want to go and find out, is it good content? And this is the beauty of social media. Guys, listen, it's important in this era, especially now while we sitting at home, quarantine and stuff like that. It's
100%.
important that you understand that you are being used by social media. That is happening right now. You are being used by social media. Y'all see all the ads. You're
Yeah,
being
100%.
used.
100%.
However, it is on us to use it back.
Mm.
It's our job to use it back. So how do I use it? Insta stories, lives, social media posts, and I'm using that to get
Exactly.
feedback. So I don't even care if somebody see my post and I got like 3 likes. That's fine. I'm
Hmm.
getting feedback. 3 likes.
Right.
Did I miss the hook? Was the angle not right? I'm
Mm.
testing it out consistently. So when you talk
Right.
about content, how are you sure of it? You test it and let the majority rules determine what you decide to put in the book.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Wow. So pretty much you're testing the waters, social media waters, so to speak, and you're saying, okay, this is what I'm putting out there. Let's see how people respond to it. What would you say for you in your life, and especially like writing your book, The Thirst is Real? Like, did
Mm-hmm.
you do that? Like testing the waters, the social media waters, and like throwing out your content like prior to you publishing the book, or how did you approach that?
Yeah, so I would I do motivational speaking as well. So
Mm.
I would go and do speeches, and I would even do them for free because again of the concept of literally testing out your material. I would go do a speech for free. A matter of fact, there are stuff in this book that are from my speeches. They're from my
Mm.
conversations with people. So I tested it out and people were like, "Oh, that's dope. Oh, snap."
Mm.
So they would have ideas like watch out for sodas is in this book, right? And the whole
Mm.
idea of watch out for sodas was soda dehydrates you, and I use dreams as water as a metaphor. Like water and dreams is like the same thing in this book.
Got
Sodas
you.
are things that dehydrate you. So what would suck you? What would dehydrate you from your dreams might be negative friends. I said that
Mm.
in a speech. The students
Wow.
started saying it in the hallway, and I'm like, that gotta get in there. That gotta get in there. That it passed the
Right.
test. So
Mm.
anytime, like I said, you can do public speaking. Sometimes you're like, yo, I want to get paid to speak. Sometimes you go to a career day out of school. Curtis, I went to a career day when you remember we
Yeah,
did the pap for
yeah, yeah.
graduations.
That's right. Yeah.
I did those events because I'm like, yo, let me test something. Let me test and see if there's an idea that could work and could give birth. I
Yeah.
can give birth to something else.
That's
So I
right.
did that with the Thirst is Real. I did that with conversations. I had conversations with Pastor Tim Delina that made the book, right? The conversations you guys are having that has stood out to you probably will stand out to somebody else if you just tell it the right way. So it
Mm.
constantly tests your material ahead of time. Kevin Hart is one of my biggest um,
Mm.
uh, people that I follow, right? But
Mm.
what people don't realize is that he'll go to small comedy clubs, test out the jokes, and then whatever lands goes into the pot of this is the material for the next special. And
Right.
he would keep trying to find an additional 5 minutes worth of stuff. And eventually he gets 12 5 minute segments. And now that becomes a 60-minute special that's now on Netflix and all those things like that.
Right.
He's
Right.
testing it. Guys, this is when I say this idea, I didn't create the idea of testing material. I just have seen it done on me. And I'm like,
Mm.
yo, this joint work.
Right.
A matter of fact, here's a good example. How many times you went to the mall and you took a little sample from the food court.
Oh.
You get you a little orange chicken, and you like, yo, hold on. And you
Oh,
go
it's chicken.
around,
Oh man,
you go
he took
around,
it back.
and you go and
Right.
say, hold on, one more. I don't know, I'm missing Chinese food or something. Like I just orange chicken.
Yeah.
So,
Of course.
so, so you go ahead, you take a little sample, and then all of a sudden you like, yo, that's really good. And after
Yeah.
you done, hopefully you didn't go all the way around and got yourself a whole meal. Um,
Right. That
then you go and say, let
that.
me go and buy this a plate of this because it was so good. Guys, you put your best stuff out, see
Right.
what lands, and then what you
Now
do
you
is
now
you
you got
curate it.
people. Yeah. Now you got people commenting on the orange chicken. You
Listen, man,
messing.
I don't know what hits. That might make the next book. Like orange chicken might make the next book if y'all like it that much.
Right. Oh man. So let's actually go into the actual pathway to publishing, right? So you
Yep,
have the idea, you have your book, you've written it, you saved it, right?
yeah.
What is the next step after that? What is the next step?
So you wrote your book, right? So obviously you get the ideas. I suggest people when you get the idea to go and put together an outline, right? Put the outline, you write it out. Then you get your rough draft manuscript. Then you have to get it to an editor. The editor is going to go read. Now here's why it takes most people too long to write their book. They are trying to be the writer and the editor at the same time, and that's the
Mm.
equivalent of trying to shoot a shot and block it. It
Ooh,
nothing happens,
that's good.
right? So don't
That's really good.
remember you can be two things. You just can't be two things at the same time.
That's good.
Right? So be a
That's good.
writer, and then once you finish writing, then I become editor.
Mm.
And so you go ahead, you get the editing, you send it to a couple of friends, let them get another extra pair of eyes to go ahead and see it. I did that with the Thirst is Real with some of my best friends, and so I make them see it. You go through the editing process. Now there's two types of editors that you need. There's what is called a copy editor and a line editor. They're not
Okay.
the same. So the copy editor is the person who's looking at your stuff, but not for periods or misspellings. They're looking at it from a flow perspective. They're looking at it from a
Mm.
readability perspective. Like, is this something that gives people whiplashes? Do they fall asleep like it's a snooze fest? Or is
Mm.
the transitions smooth from one thought to the next? That's a
Wow.
copy editor's job.
Okay.
Flow is super important. You don't want to be in the car with somebody who's driving 100 miles an hour and it immediately goes to 10. I need someone who knows how to
Right.
connect one idea to the next one in some kind of
Got
framework
it.
or process. So that's the copy editor. The
Got
line
it.
editor is the one who's doing the punctuations, the
The
grammar.
grammar, all of
Yeah.
that.
So you need both of them. You need both of those people for the editing process. Once those two go through that process, you now have what is called your revised manuscript. This is not a rough draft anymore. This is the final draft. Now, sometimes you'll go through 3, 4, 5. Sometimes it even goes 20 times in terms of a
Mm.
draft. Now, here's what I would tell people. Many times we go in, we have 20 drafts. I'm telling you right now, the goal is not perfection. The goal is as close to perfect as possible. I
Got
have
you.
a book called The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. For those who don't know Shonda Rhimes, she wrote the show Scandal, Private
Yeah.
Practice,
Great
Grey's
Grey's
Anatomy,
Anatomy.
How to
Yeah.
Get Away with Murder, which is on tonight at 10. Right.
A little plug, okay.
Little plug. I love me some Shonda Rhimes. So Shonda Rhimes, when I read her New York Times best-selling book, Curtis, you know I found 3 grammatical errors.
Really?
And it's not because she can't afford editors. But could you have imagined if she kept on saying, yo, let me make sure there's no mistakes at all. Let me get 20 different editors. Let me get
It would
27
never,
different
yeah,
drafts.
it
It
would
would have
never
never
get
been
done.
able to get done. And I want you to understand that there's a quote that says, broken crayons still color.
Ooh,
Broken crayons still color.
that's
The
good,
3
man.
grammatical errors, bro, in her book did not stop that from transforming the way I started to look at life and saying, yo, what if I was just more receptive to just using the word yes? Or what's my
Mm,
word that I'm saying is going to be the thing that drives my year. Her word was yes for a year. What's your
Right.
word? I'm glad she didn't let 50 different drafts sit on her computer. She published it,
Right.
3 mistakes in all. It still blessed people. It still became a New York Times bestseller. So I just
Yeah,
want people
man.
to sit down, please. Don't try to be perfection is not the goal. You want to just make sure it's complete. Your
Got
thought is
you. That's so
complete.
good.
Have people go and review it. You go and get the final manuscript. After you get the manuscript done, that's in your Word document or a Google Doc or something. Then you got to
Right.
get the book designed on the inside. Here's the thing most people don't really know. You're like, yo, I
Yeah,
need a
speak
book
more on that.
designer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I need a
speak
book
more on that.
designer. Yes, you need a book designer to go in. There's two different types of designers. There's a exterior designer and interior design.
Mm.
Y'all know when y'all go into y'all get your new apartment, you get a little nice interior design. I'm sure Curtis is gonna find somebody to come on Curtis Careers and talk about interior design. Somebody's doing it in your
I'm gonna
network.
set it
I'm
up.
pretty
You know
sure,
it.
man.
I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna set it up.
It's how does the house look on the inside? So in your
Mm.
book, there's an inside. Yes, create the cover. You have to have a nice front cover, right? And you have to have a nice back cover as well. However, and there's things I could talk to you about that process as well. But after you get the cover on the outside, the exterior created, then you want to make sure you design the inside. So like here's one of the things here. I design on the inside where at the end of the chapter there are summary points so that those who don't want to go and look back, they can easily come and see a summary of the points. That's a
Mm.
design element that your designer can have. Like you ever seen a book where they have like quotes that are pulled out from the paragraph just because they wanted to make sure it stand
Yeah.
out? That is an
Hmm.
interior design element. So you want to make sure that you get someone who designs the interior of your book so that it looks professional. You do not.
Are those two separate type of designers, or is that designer that you go to? They do both the exterior and the
They're
interior.
typically different. They're
Mm.
typically different. So
Got it.
sometimes they call them book designers. There are other times they call them book formatters because you
Ah.
can't you can't just upload your Word document and think everything will look the same. It's the equivalent of trying to open a Windows program on a Mac or a Mac program on a Windows and you start seeing all your things are all over the place. You're like, yo,
Hmm.
hold on. Why is chapter 3 in the beginning of the book? That's what's gonna happen if you don't format
Right.
your book.
Right.
Right?
Right. Right.
So you gotta have it
That's
formatted
good.
a specific way. So you get a book formatter who can go ahead and format the book correctly so that when you upload it to whichever program you use, I personally use Amazon KDP. You can go and use Ingram Spark as another source. There's Lulu. There's several others that you could go ahead and use, but these are companies that you upload your file to, and they'll help print your book,
Mm.
right? But you got
So
to
wait, what
have
are
it
those?
formatted. There's
Yeah. What?
Amazon KDP, Ingram
Okay.
Spark,
Ingram Spark.
Lulu is another one. If you need to get your book printed, but you don't care if it's going to be distributed on Amazon or Barnes and Nobles, you can use what is called 48hourbooks.com. They'll get your book printed super quick in like 2 days once your manuscript is done.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be even overly formatted either. So that's crazy. But if you need it fast, let's say like somebody told me, yo, Geo, you got to go speak somewhere on Saturday, right? And I didn't have any books like in my hands right now. I'd go to 48 Hour Books. You'll pay a
Hmm.
premium because you're getting it super fast, but you're
Hmm.
definitely going to get it in 2 days. And actually,
That's
this happened to
awesome.
me recently. In January,
Wow.
I finished
Mm.
writing a book for a client. I literally wrote a book to one person.
Hmm.
Like I mean, like the book had the person's name in it and everything, like a letter, but a whole book worth of stuff, right?
Wow.
But
That's crazy.
bro, yeah. So
That's crazy.
we'll talk about that off air. So like,
Right.
but I had to get the book printed before my trip, and what happened to me was, um, I needed it fast. So 48 hours came in. I got it in 2 days because of that. So that's a resource when you have to. If you have an event and you're running out of, you don't have inventory saved up, go to 48 Hour Books. That'd be a great place. But for me and all the clients that I've worked with, we've used Amazon KDP as the publishing platform.
That's awesome. So we got a couple of questions here.
Yeah, let's do it.
yeah, so one is between editors and designers, what's that price range typically?
For so you can get a book cover design done for as little as $10 and as much as 1,000.
Wow, that is such a
A huge gap, right? So you can go on a website like Fiverr.com, right? It's
Fiverr is good, y'all. V V
Fiverr
yeah.
dot com.
Yep.
You can go there. You can find a lot of affordable services on people who are able to do your book cover. Now, here's the thing I want you to understand: you get what you pay for, right? You be careful. Be
Mm,
careful. You get what you pay for. So you don't want to get a book cover design and people, because again, the world judges a book by its cover. As much as we like don't judge, we judge a book by its cover. You don't want to go cheap with the face of your book.
right.
You don't want to go cheap. Y'all ain't going over there. I don't see nobody buying $1 makeup. Or y'all ain't buying no
Right.
$1 makeup. Y'all going into Sephora. Y'all going to get that good stuff, right? So you don't
And
get that
even
good
like
stuff. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
even if it's like yeah, sorry, even if it's like you're like for men, like you're shopping for a suit, you're not gonna go to some, cheapo spot, spot. You're gonna go to like Suit Supply, Men's Warehouse. You want something like custom tailor made, like you know what I mean? And even women too, the women go to their stores, you know what I mean? Like to
Yeah.
get yeah, stuff designed that fits you, that
Right,
suits you.
100%. Yeah, so you want to make sure that you look at people, you go on for me what I used for my book cover was 99 Designs.
Okay.
99 Designs was what I used for my book cover, and here's the reason why. Now, it is more expensive. It's more like the 300, 400, $500 range. The reason why I use 99 Designs though, and this is one of the hacks, but listen, you families, I'm telling everybody, if you're watching this, um I'm gonna give it to you. So 99
Ah,
Designs
giving them
will give
gems.
the reason why I love 99 Designs is because I get to hire 20 to 40 designers for the price of one good design.
Ooh.
Because think about it. If I go to Fiverr, I get one person for $15 and it's not good, guess what I gotta do? Hire another person on Fiverr again. You
For
might
another
end up
15,
for another
however,
15 to $20. So you might
right.
end up having to do that 10 to 15 times and you still don't find nobody. But if I go to 99 Designs, I can go and get people to actually, it's a contest. They're trying to win the book cover
Mm,
job.
right.
So now I'm getting
Mm,
50 designs. And then now, when it comes to the marketing of your book, you share the contest with your followers and let them vote on the winning cover.
ooh, okay.
And here's the cool thing, Curtis. If
That's
they
crazy.
vote on the cover, then what happens is they're now invested in having a copy because they participated, which was something
Mm,
that you invited them to take part in.
right.
So this is something you can do so that you can get people to want to buy your book even before the book is finished. You go and say, hey guys, I'm writing my book. It's almost done. It's 65% of the way done. I'm
Mm,
struggling to figure out which book cover would be the best one. I could use your help. Which one of these four do you think would be the best book cover? Everybody
right.
commented. Now, every time somebody comments, here's the cool thing. When they comment, I now know you have some kind of interest in my book. So I'm going to save your info. So that when the book drops, I'm like, hey, I appreciate you voting back way when on my book cover, it's now
Right.
out. I would love your support in buying the book. And now you have an
Right.
audience of people who are warm that are saying that already have participated in that journey.
Right.
So
Because you've developed this relationship with them
yeah,
already.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So you
That's
want to use
awesome.
99 Designs for the book formatting part of it, the interior design. I know because we were talking about the two different type of designers. You can get somebody for as again $35 to $50, or it can go up to $500
Hmm.
for it. There's a good range of it, but the key thing that I've noticed when it comes to finding affordable designers is you being as specific as possible.
Got
If
you.
you can give them examples, you can now. Here's the thing: if you don't want to go and give them no examples, you just want the best. You go ahead and you just tell them you just pay the price. You pay the higher
Hmm.
price, and you know that they good for it. One of my hacks for finding the greatest designers, bro. is I'll get like all the top books that I've seen on. I'll go to Barnes and Nobles.
Right.
When I go to Barnes and Nobles, I open up the flap right where it has like the all rights reserved section.
Ah.
Like this section right here, normally it'll say who created the design in the books that we're talking about. You'll see
Mm.
who it is, and then you can Google them and literally get that person. So like I know who created Kevin Hart's book design because it says it in the inside the flap. I can
See, a
get
lot
that
of people,
designer.
a lot of people don't even know that.
Yeah, they
That's
write
so good.
you in there. They'll even say who edited sometimes.
Mm.
So if you're looking for the best, you can find that in that section. But the other thing is, if they are the best, I can literally take that book, take pictures of it, and say, I would like it formatted like this. Take away the guesswork and tell them up front what you're looking for.
Right.
Book cover designs too. I do the same thing. I'm like, yo, guys, I go literally online to the New York Times bestsellers list, and I'll look
Mm.
at all the nonfiction books. That's what I specialize in, nonfiction. So I'll go at all the nonfiction books and I'll see what the commonalities are between the covers. And when I see
Mm.
what's common, I now know what's a trend, not a fad. What's a trend?
Mm.
Right? There's a difference.
There's a
Fads,
difference.
the F for fad stands for fickle. It goes, it fades.
So good. I like that.
The
I
T
like
for
that.
trends, it's true. It's
Timeless.
true. Timeless. There you go. You see? I'm gonna write that down. Timeless. I like
Yeah,
that one.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. Timeless. Yeah,
Timeless,
I'm
right?
trying to.
Throw it in. Like,
Right.
So you want
That's
to find
good,
what's the
man.
trends. So I'll go ahead, I find what the trends are, and then I say I want a book design like this because I already know it's proven. As the person said earlier, how do I know that this is a proven content? I like to go by what's proven. So if you're a New York Times best-selling book cover, or like the book is on New York Times bestseller, it's proven. Now, granted, Michelle Obama could have had whatever book cover she wanted, it was gonna sell,
Right.
right? But at the same time, she also has access to the best designers. So I am leveraging her network by doing some research on my end. And now I can go and tell my designers exactly what I'm looking for. And so now instead of them doing 5 different edits or versions of my book, I already know what I want it to look like. So now because I only need 2 versions of it, that automatically cuts in the cost.
Mm. Wow. That's good. That's really good. Sorry, folks. I saw another question here. Sorry it took so long, but Geo was, man, sharing these amazing, amazing tips and these gems, man. I've been taking notes. Someone at Global Advocate Career Podcast asks, thoughts on self-publishing versus using a publisher?
Great
Good question.
question. I
Good
knew that question
question.
was coming. So here's
Yeah.
an interesting thing. The traditional publishing route we go is like, hey, I get a publisher. They go ahead and they do a lot of the legwork. They go and they have the access to the networks. They got the PR. They got all that stuff. Now you want to make sure, because this happened to one of my recent clients who became an Amazon bestseller. He's a TEDx speaker, and he had that very same question: should I go to a publisher or should I self-publish? A lot of publishers, you want to make sure that they lay out what the actual plan is to make your
Mm.
book get what it is. Don't let them
Right.
just tell you, oh, well, we have access. No, what's the plan that's going to get this book in front of as many
Right.
eyeballs as possible? If it's like Penguin Books, you know that they're good for it because they have so many big names. But
Right.
if they're big, they're going to want you to have credibility, and they really don't work with people who aren't already proven. It's so crazy, Curtis. Think about this: how come
Wow.
celebrities they become millionaires and then they go to restaurants and the restaurants give them food for free
Mm.
when they could
They're
actually afford it? You see,
right.
they don't need it. They don't need the restaurant to give it to them for free. And it's the same thing when it
Exactly.
comes to books. They want to
Wow.
go and work with people who technically could sell the book without them. The publisher should only be an amplifier. It should be a
Mm.
maximizer. If you think the publisher is the one who's going to make your book successful, we're looking at it from the wrong perspective.
Wow.
It should already
Wow.
be a hit before you get the publisher,
Before you
and
get to
they
the
go ahead and they add to it. It's again, I
mm.
look at a publisher as a supplement. I still need my main ingredient, my main food. You can't go
Right.
and say, yo, just you know what? I don't need food. I'm just gonna take vitamin C pills all day.
Right.
Man,
That doesn't no.
no. You might not have enough from your normal daily food intake, and now you supplement it to maximize what happens. A publisher is maximizing it, and they also have control. So you're giving away
That's
control
good.
a lot of times when
Wow.
you have them go and take on the job. They might tell you, I don't like the title of your book. We're changing it. Now, if you want
Mm.
creative control, you don't want to go through a publisher. You want to go the self-publishing route. You know who I had to talk to go and create this book and call it The Thirst is Real? I had to talk to 3 people.
Really?
Me, myself, and I.
Oh man, that's
And
good.
they gave me flying colors. There was thumbs up 3 times. I was good to go.
Thumbs up. That's great.
So that's one thing. Another thing too.
And you went to a publisher for that book, right? You
No, I
didn't.
self-published.
You
Bro, I
self-published.
self-published it because I wanted control and I didn't want to have to wait. A lot of times, if you're going through the traditional publishing route, they're having this. A lot of times, it's an 8 to 12 month waiting period. Could you imagine if I had an idea right now on how to survive in pandemics? If I have to
Mm.
go through a traditional publisher, that book coming out next year. If
Wow.
I self-publish, that book could come out in as little as next week
Right. That's so good.
because of the self-publishing route. So if speed is important for you, then you want to make sure that you are the one who is self-publishing. And then also, here's another cool thing. When I self-publish, I have higher payouts per
There you go.
copy. When
Right.
we got royalties, you ever hear people, they make fun of the fact, yeah, I got a royalty check, and a royalty check $4, royalty check 79 cents.
That's not even enough for orange chicken. See? That's
Listen,
that.
you're gonna have to eat the samples.
Right.
You know? But if I go and I take my book that's $20 and I self-published it, now all of a sudden that $20, I say, yo, give me the $20, right? Then I go and order it through my publishing platform for $3. I
Mm.
got this book for $3 and I sell it to you for 20. Now my royalty check that I paid to myself is
Right.
$17 compared to $2 to $3, $4, $5.
That's a game changer.
So
That's
when
a
you're talking about,
game
yo,
changer.
Gio, how can I make money? Yo, you just need to sell. If you want to make $1,000, you just need to sell 60 copies of your book. 60 copies of your book is going to cost you $180, but you charge $20. That's $1,200 minus 180, which now gets us at $1,020 in your pocket for selling 60 books. You're not getting that through a traditional publisher.
Wow. Wow. And how much would you get if you go the traditional route? Like, what are
You
those
can get, so
numbers?
like I'll see like $6, sometimes $7. It's like right. So, and here's another thing: through the publishing platform I use, which is Amazon KDP, I don't get the payouts till 60 days later.
Mm.
So if you need that money right now, another reason to go and try to get what I call author copies. That's what they call in Amazon KDP world. Is called author copies, where you now get the book at wholesale price, and then you sell
Got
it
it.
for full price, so that way you can go and make a higher profit.
Wow. Wow. That's good, man. That's really good. This is
I know
some
we got
really
about
good
like
int
10 more minutes, and any
Yeah.
questions? I want to just answer
Yeah.
questions, and
Any
then also I got something for everybody. If you DM me at the end of this, I will send you. Which one should I give them?
what are you sending? Let me
Hold
find
on, let me
out. This
think.
is great.
Listen, I didn't think I'm gonna do this for the people on here. If you DM me at the end of this, what I'm going to give you is I'm creating a video that will show you how I went from 0 words to 40,000 words in just 6 hours.
And
Listen,
you said to me that, right? I'm just saying you
listen
said to
to
me
me.
that, right? Okay.
If that is something you guys would be interested in, just write in the comments real quick. Just say yes in the comments if you would be interested in a detailed video. It's like basically a free masterclass on how I went from 0 words to 40,000 words in just 6 hours of work. If you're interested, I mean, only if you want it, put a yes in the comments
Yeah,
just so I can
please
see.
put a yes, please, because I'm gonna.
If we don't get like 5 yeses,
I want
then
it. This.
you don't count. You the host. I see three. I see three. I see four. Can we get one more? All right, you guys did it, guys. Here's the thing: you gotta
We
do.
got
You gotta
four.
DM
Yep.
me. You gotta DM me after this. Let me know what it was like. Did you find this beneficial? I will send you, and I'll get your email address. DM me your email address. I will send
Right.
you my video on how I went from 0 words. One of the scariest things is going on your Word document and seeing that cursor. The biggest bully on your computer is that cursor. That's literally doing this
You
the
ain't
whole
lying,
time,
man.
and it's
You
daring
right.
you. I dare you to
So
write
you know,
something.
right.
I dare you. I'm like, yo,
So true, man.
I'm
So
telling you,
good.
man.
So
So
true.
this video will show you how I went from zero. Literally, my next book that's coming out this month, Geo's Gems, is 40,000 words. That is double this book.
Right.
And I did that in 6 hours. Remember, I told you.
Crazy.
I see people
Crazy.
already DMing me. This is good. I love people who's taking action.
Right.
Literally. Literally, man, I'm telling you. Sherrod said, Geo, I'm gonna contact you about some fall programs. Sherrod, I can't wait to come back to the alma mater, man. So
Awesome.
listen, literally, I will send that to you. 0 to 40,000 words. DM me, send me an email. It's only because you came on here with Curtis Careers that I'm extending this olive branch, this gift.
Thank you,
I
Gio.
appreciate your
Thank you.
time. I appreciate Curtis putting this together. So if you are watching this and you're part of his network, and I think you leave it live for like 24 hours, right? Or something like that. You save it,
Yep.
save
Yep.
it. So those who are watching it, even on the replay, after the video goes down, you ain't never gonna be able to hear this offer, and it's free 99. 0 words
Yep.
to 40,000 words for you coming on
Free
here.
90.
So
Free 99. Wait, really quickly, had a
yes,
question on the chat. It said, is it easier to do an ebook? Is that
an
the
ebook is
case?
definitely easier. It's
Right.
definitely easier. But here's the crazy thing about ebooks: they still require the same people on the team. You still need line editors. You still need copy editors. You still need someone to actually make the book look pretty on an ebook. You know, if you see like a Word document in a PDF, it don't feel like an ebook. It just sounds like an essay that you just emailed me. So you
Mm,
still want to design the book. So you still need that book designer, that interior designer as well. So it's super important. Ebooks is cool. You could do Kindle if you're doing a digital book, something like of that nature. Um, it's less work because you don't have to deal with the publishing side of it. Because technically, I can sell an ebook from my website directly without ever going through anybody else.
right. And this, which is what I'm doing. Like I'm creating like my own courses right now, and just gonna put it on my website for folks to purchase and download, right? So,
Yep.
and that's I'm doing all the designing, all the use Canva, guys. Canva is amazing, by the way. Little
Canva
plug
is great.
on Canva is great. If you want to do videos like promo videos, Offio, that's OFFEO, they're great as well. I just did a subscription to Adobe Spark. So all those videos you saw promoting this even
Yeah.
this event,
Yeah. No,
I
that was
was
dope.
using those tools. Also saw a question here about
Yeah, keep going. Let's
podcasts.
try to knock these ones out.
Yeah, is it Stephanie says, or is it easier for a podcast?
So
And
it
then
depends
what's
on
your
what.
advice on? Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not sure what the question is. So here's the thing about podcasts. I believe that you should publish. Again, a book is just is published content. A podcast is published content.
that's
Listen,
it.
is published content. Now, most people don't pay to listen to a podcast. They'll pay to buy your book, though. But you can do both, right? You
That's
can
a
do
good
both, or
point.
you can sell ads with your
Good point.
podcast if you have enough of
Good
a
point.
following. So my advice to people who are thinking, can I do a podcast or should I do a podcast or not? My answer to you is, what is the method that is easier to you? Are you a talker? Do a podcast. Are you a writer? Do a book. You know what I'm saying? Like, it depends on what level is authentic to you. Some people are,
Right.
I don't like this phrase, but some people, they say like, if you are great on video, then you do a YouTube channel or something like that, right? If you got a face
Right.
for radio or whatever, like whatever the quote is, right? You do podcasts or you do a radio show. So
Right.
again, it's just a matter of you figuring out what platform works best for the way you want to deliver your content. Stephanie. So that would be
Mm.
the answer to that. Any other questions?
Yeah. Any other questions? Use
Somebody
the
said use a
podcast.
podcast to test your material. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Use it. Yeah. Good
Any
point.
other questions? What else? Did we miss anything?
Yeah. Any other
Let me
questions, y'all? We got
scroll.
about, yeah, we got like a couple more minutes. Geo, this has been awesome.
Bro,
Um,
like I could go on this all day, man. Like I love this stuff. You definitely make more per dollar. Someone said, what are the best websites for self-publishing? I personally use Amazon KDP. You can also use Ingram Spark, as we said earlier, to go and use that as a topic. Spoken Black Girl said, good topic. Yes to self-publishing. Um,
mhm.
Stephanie talked about the Becoming Michelle Obama joint. Thank you
Oh,
for
yeah,
sharing
yeah,
your
yeah.
clip.
That's
So
actually
that,
on Netflix. Yeah, that's on
yeah, it was on
Netflix.
Netflix. Um, between yeah, so no, this is good, man. This is good. Orange chicken, everybody's talking about. No, but listen, guys, DM me, so you can get that copy of that video. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna build that out. I want to make sure I get that over to you guys. Follow me on
Yeah.
Instagram so we can go and
Just
stay
about
in
to
touch
ask you
as
that.
well. Yeah,
Just
it's
about to
at
ask.
Geo Derice. I think if you are watching this, you can literally click the upper left hand corner of your phone and click
Yeah.
the name, and you'll see view Curtis Careers profile, and you'll see view Geo Derice profile. So please follow us both because Curtis
Yeah.
has these things every single week with amazing people, PR people, lawyers. So you can
Yeah.
definitely go ahead, follow Curtis Careers. Even
Yeah.
if you got a career, follow it because again, more knowledge just makes the knife sharper. They said that
Ooh.
if you was to go ahead and cut a tree, the best way to cut a tree is to spend the majority of your time sharpening the axe. That's the thing you do, right? So the
Right.
knowledge that we can get from following one another is super huge. So
It's super
go on
important.
there,
Yeah.
content and stuff like that, man.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Gio. And we got a couple more minutes left. So again, folks, if you have any questions with what Gio shared, reach out to Gio at Geo Derice on Instagram. You have a website, Geo Speaks, www.com.
Geospeaks.com or geoderice.com. Both of them go to the same place. So that's
Awesome.
GEO. Let me just put that on. Just go to my link in my bio. It's all on there.
Awesome.
It's on the
Awesome.
link in the bio. But
Oh,
listen, man, guys, I love again. This was great. I plan
this
on
is
doing more of
awesome.
these, so definitely follow me on IG. We're gonna
Yeah.
do that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we got to do another session like this so that
bro,
other
let's
folks
do
can,
it, man.
if they missed it, they can come back for the next one.
Yeah,
Again, folks, this is Curtis Careers. Again, Curtis Cox here with you. See through the day. So again, this platform is designed to highlight different career sectors, different business sectors, and give you guys the tools and wherewithal and the strategies to really excel and really, find your calling and do well. So, Geo, bro, thank you so much for this.
my
This was
pleasure,
great.
man.
Folks, reach out to Geo. And again, Geo, you're gonna send that masterclass for
Yeah, I ain't
folks.
gonna forget. I got you. I got you, guys. If
Yeah.
you DM me, you get into class, man. 0 to 40,000 words in 6 hours. I got you.
Awesome, awesome. And also, folks, like reach out to me if you have any ideas on any topics that you want me to discuss here on this platform with Curtis Careers, See Through the Day. Please reach out to me. Follow me at Curtis Careers. My website is curtiscareers.com. So again, reach out to me if you have any ideas or if you yourself would want to be as a guest to the show.
Mm,
Definitely reach out to me as well for that, and we can start that conversation.
dope, man. Appreciate you,
Yeah.
bro.
Appreciate you, bro. We'll talk soon. And folks, have a great evening and be safe.
Later.
All right.